Good morning, dear students. So far, we have completed Unit 2, Electrochemistry 1. So, Electrochemistry 1, Unit 2 we have completed in the last class. Today, we are going to start the next unit, that is Unit 3, Electrochemistry 2. In the Electrochemistry 2, the first topic is theory of strong electrolyte. In the theory of strong electrolyte, the foremost theory we are going to study is Debye-Hückel Onsager theory. First, you must know what is a strong electrolyte. Strong electrolyte is electrolyte which gets completely dissociated or goes into the solution in the form of ions completely. So, a complete dissociation usually occurs in the case of strong electrolytes. The foremost advanced theory about the strong electrolyte is given by Debye and Hückel in the year 1923. They put forward the theory of strong electrolytes. According to them, the strong electrolytes are completely dissociated. Even in the solid state, the strong electrolytes exist in the form of ions. So, when a strong electrolyte is dissolved in a solution of high dielectric constant solvent like water, and in very dilute solution, what happens? Their conductance will be maximum. The solution is prepared in a solvent of high dielectric constant, and in a very dilute solution, what happens? The strong electrolytes have very high conductance because at high dilution, okay, in a dilute solution, the ions, the oppositely charged ions will lie very far apart with one another. Then the intrionic forces of attraction between the oppositely charged ion will be very, very less, and the ions will have very high mobility. Therefore, the conductance will be greater in the case of strong electrolytes. When we take a solution of low dielectric constant at higher concentration, the ions will come close with one another due to oppositely charged interionic forces of attraction. There will be force of attraction between the positively and negatively charged ion. Because of this interionic forces of attraction, their mobility gets called down. Okay, therefore, some of the ions will exist as ionic doublets, that is, at higher concentration, when the ions come closer, some of the ions will exist in the form of ionic doublets Therefore, what happens? Their conductance decreases because of these intra-ionic forces of attraction. Arrhenius has attributed the contribution towards the conductance of any given electrolyte. He said, according to Arrhenius, he said that the degree of dissociation of any given electrolyte is determined by using this equation. That is, the degree of dissociation is the ratio between the equivalent conductance at a given concentration and the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution. This is in the case of, this is not applicable in the case of all electrolytes. Particularly, this is not applicable in the case of strong electrolytes, because according to Arrhenius, the degree of ionization increases with increase in dilution. That is only in the case of weak electrolytes. That is not applicable in the case of strong electrolytes, because in the case of strong electrolytes, they always gets completely dissociated. The degree of ionization will all along constant, which always remains unity at all concentration. So, the decrease in the equivalent conductance with increase in concentration in the case of strong electrolyte is not due to fall in the degree of ionization, but due to fall in the mobility of the ions. That is, when the strong electrolyte is dissolved in a solution, a highly concentrated solution, what happens? Even though the degree of ionization is unity, all the ions, all the molecules are completely dissociated in the form of ions. Even though, because of this highly concentrated solution, the ions are come closer with each other due to intra-ionic forces of attraction gets dominated. Therefore, the ions cannot move faster and freely. That means the decrease in the conductance with increase in concentration in the case of strong electrolyte is not due to fall in the degree of ionization, but due to fall in the mobility of the ions due to intra-ionic forces of attraction operating between the oppositely charged ions. Because in the case of strong electrolytes, they are always completely dissociated at all concentrations. So the degree of ionization question is not at all arises in the case of strong electrolytes, because they are completely dissociated at all concentrations, and the degree of ionization or the degree of dissociation is always remains constant and unity for all strong electrolytes at all concentrations. Whatever may be the concentrations, the strong electrolytes are always completely dissociated in nature, and the degree of ionization is always remains unity because they are completely dissociated. That means, remember, in the case of strong electrolytes, the decrease in conductance with increase in concentration is not due to decrease in the degree of ionization, but due to decrease in the mobility of the ions because of the intra-ionic forces of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. In the case of strong electrolytes, this is the explanation given by Debye and Haeckel. Now, the decrease in the equivalent conductance with increase in concentration is due to some of the electronic effects operating. Usually, there are two electronic effects explained by Debye and Haeckel. Okay, the first effect is asymmetry effect. Remember, in the electrolytic solution, every ion is surrounded by oppositely charged ion known as ionic atmosphere. For example, if I take a positively charged ion, central ion, they are surrounded by oppositely charged ions known as ionic atmosphere. This is ionic atmosphere. This is called ionic atmosphere. This ionic atmosphere will be symmetrical in the absence of electrical field, because there is no electrical field is there, the ions will remain symmetrical. Why? Because the electrostatic forces of attraction between the oppositely charged ion in one direction is cancelled in another direction. Okay, in all the directions, the electrostatic forces of attraction gets cancelled with each other, and the ionic atmosphere will remain symmetrical in the absence of electrical field. Okay, this is in the absence of electrical field. When it is subjected to electrical field, that is, there are two electrodes. Okay, this is cathode, this is anode. What happens? This central positively charged ion moves towards cathode, whereas the negatively charged ionic atmosphere moves towards anode in the opposite direction. See, this is like this. See, this is in presence of electrical field. This is asymmetry. Asymmetry in the ionic atmosphere. This is symmetry. So what happens? In the presence of electrical field, the central positively charged ion moves towards cathode in one direction. The negatively charged ionic atmosphere moves towards anode, towards the opposite direction. Therefore, what happens? The ion gets experiencing a pull towards backward. Automatically, the speed of the ion decreases. The ionic atmosphere, okay, will become more in the back than in the front. Therefore, there is a drag of movement of the ion. That is why the mobility of the ion decreases. When the mobility of the ion decreases, the equivalent conductance of the strong electrolyte decreases. This effect is called asymmetry effect. The asymmetric effect is nothing but the ionic atmosphere moves in opposite direction and central ion moves in one direction. It will retard or it will reduce the speed of the ion. Therefore, the conductance decreases, because the conductance of an ion mainly depends upon the mobility of the ion. This effect is called asymmetric effect. And the second effect we are going to study, that is second effect is electrophoretic effect. Electrophoretic effect is nothing but every ion in an electrolytic solution has to move through the medium or through the solvent molecules, usually water molecules. Okay? when an ion moves, for example, when the positively charged ion moves towards the cathode, the solvent molecules, water molecules will move in the opposite direction. So, because when the ion has to move through the hydrated molecules of the solvent, what happens when the ion moves in one direction, the hydrated solvent molecules moves in the opposite direction, automatically what happens? It retards or it slows down the speed of the ion. This is something like when a swimmer swims in a sea, the oppositely approaching waves slows down the speed of the swimmer. Similar to that, when the ions moves in one direction, the solvent molecules moves in the opposite direction, automatically it slows down the mobility of the ion, therefore the conductance of equal, that is the conductance of strong electrolyte decreases with increase in the concentration. This effect is called the electrophoretic effect. Debye and Huckel, okay, Debye and Huckel, considering both the magnitude of asymmetry and electrophoretic effect in terms of dielectric constant of a solvent and coefficient of viscosity of the solvent, particularly for univalent electrolyte, okay, in terms of the concentration of the electrolyte in gram equivalents per liter, they have given the Debye-Huckel equation, that is lambda C is equal to lambda 0 minus 82.4 dt power half into eta plus 8.2 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by dt power 3 by 2 into lambda 0 into root C. This is called Debye-Huckel Onsager equation. This is called Debye-Huckel Onsager equation. Say lambda C is the equivalent conductance at a given concentration. Lambda 0 is the equivalent conductance at zero concentration or at infinite dilution. This capital D is the dielectric constant of a solvent and T is the absolute temperature and eta is coefficient of viscosity. So, Debye and Huckel has given this equation, keeping, that is calculating the magnitude of both electrophoretic effect and asymmetric effect. They have given this equation called Debye-Huckel Onsager equation. This is applicable particularly for univalent electrolyte, and this C is nothing but concentration of an electrolyte in terms of gram equivalents per liter. Now, we are going to verify this equation. Okay, verification of Debye-Huckel Onsager equation. Verification of Debye-Huckel theory. See, just now we have studied this Debye-Huckel equation. Listen, Debye and Huckel has given. See, he is giving explanation why this lambda C value is lesser than lambda 0. That is the equivalent conductance at a given concentration, okay, or the equivalent conduction at infinite dilution. The difference between these two values is explained by Debye-Huckel theory. See, the two terms in the square bracket shows the magnitude of electrophoretic effect and the asymmetric effect. The first term, this gives the measure or the magnitude of electrophoretic effect, and this value gives a measure of asymmetric effect. So simply I can write this equation as lambda z is equal to lambda 0 minus a plus b into lambda 0 into root c. This is a value shows the magnitude of electrophoretic effect, and b value shows the magnitude of asymmetric effect. See, these two are called Debye-Heckel constants. Debye-Heckel constants, this value is different for different solvents, and also it will vary with temperature. For example, for water at 25 degrees centigrade, the value of A is found to be 60.2 and the value of B is found to be 0.229. It has been experimentally verified. Okay? How it is experimentally verified? See, for many number of strong electrolytes, when lambda C is plotted against the root C, okay, we get a straight line for many number of strong electrolytes, and the slope of this line is found to be equal to A plus B into lambda 0. That has been experimentally verified in the case of many number of strong electrolytes. That we will see. Now, we know that equation just now we have studied. Lambda C is equal to lambda 0 minus A plus B into lambda 0 into root C. Now it has to be verified experimentally. When the lambda C value, that is equivalent conductance at a given concentration, is plotted against the root of the concentration, okay, we get a straight line for many number of electrolytes like this. This is for HCl, KCl. Okay, this is for silver nitrate, this is for sodium nitrate, like this. See, this value, equivalent conductance at infinite dilution, is less. This is because of asymmetric effect and electrophoretic effect. That is why this value is less. Okay, otherwise what happens? See, when we extrapolate this, we will get lambda 0 values. This will give you the lambda 0 values. That is at 0 concentration, or we can say at infinite dilution. These are all the values of equivalent conductance of different strong electrolytes at 0 concentration, and the slope of these line are found to be equal to A plus B into lambda 0, that is equal to 60.2 plus 0.229 into lambda 0. See, it has been experimentally verified for many number of strong electrolytes. And listen, at 0 concentration, okay, lambda C will become equal to lambda 0, because both electrophoretic effect and asymmetric effect will become virtually offset at infinite dilution. At higher concentration, this equation has slightly deviation. At higher concentration, particularly up to the concentration of 0.02 N, this law is verified experimentally and also obeys. But at higher concentration, because of this deviation, this law is not applicable. This equation is not properly verified. See, listen, at 0 concentration, what happens? Or 0 concentration is nothing but at infinite dilution. When more and more water is added, what happens? This equivalent conductance at a given concentration value will become lambda 0. That is, lambda C will become equal to lambda 0 at 0 concentration or at infinite dilution. Why? Because both electrophoretic effect and asymmetric effect will become offset at infinite dilution. So therefore, Debye-Heckel-Onsager theory has been experimentally verified, okay, by graph for many number of strong electrolytes. This is so much about Debye-Heckel theory of strong electrolytes and its graphical verification. Okay, the next topic we will study in the next